Hello, this is Randal once again, and we're talking about one of the first 5 roadblocks that you'll encounter in your online internet business and experience. And we're going to start that over. Hello, this is Randal and I'm back, and we're talking about the first 5 roadblocks that you're going to experience in your internet network marketing business. Now, when you get going, there's going to be a learning curve that you go through, and there's going to be a lot of things that you're going to get exposed to, and there's going to become the challenge of knowing what's the right information, what should you do, what's right for you. But the biggest problem that comes, the biggest hurdle that starts to face you, is that all the information starts to become relevant, and then it becomes too much information and you get confused like a deer in the headlights. You don't know which one to choose, which option to take, which way to go. Part of that comes from not knowing your path or which path you're going to take. If you're going to take the path of video, or if you're going to take the path of blogging, or if you're going to take the path of a combination of those, and how to actually put that together, and then putting the information in the proper perspective. One of the keys to not getting information overload is to be able to get a goal set or a plan set. You don't go into college and then they just throw everything at you at one time. They give it to you a little bit at a time, and then you graduate from it, and then you graduate up to the next level. Because too much at one time leaves things unfinished. You'll start to skip stuff that you shouldn't have skipped. Those most of the time are the vital pieces that you need in order to have your project succeed. So, I was at the convention, No Excuses 3, and they had, I can't remember, it was like 28 or 22, 28 speakers, something like that. And they were very dynamic in each one of the areas that they covered. But if you don't control yourself, you're going to hear all the information and it's all going to start sounding so good, and by the end of something like that, you're going to be a little bit confused and you won't know which way to go. What I usually do is I pick a project and a goal that I want to have for that project, all the way down to how I want the project to convert, how I want it to do. And then I focus on what needs to happen from the goal all the way back to the beginning. It's like reverse engineering what you're going to do. So you pick your goal, and you see how many fans but how many people you want to attract to that method of marketing. Then you see how many people that you're going to actually have to reach in order to get the number that you want to convert. And then you find out which method's going to convert the best, if it's going to be video or if it's going to be print. You find out which mediums to put it in, or which forums to put it in. Then you have to find out which delivery method that you're going to use to actually get the opt-in. So you have to kind of control yourself and break down what you really want. And then you'll be able to have a successful campaign. So that leads us to the next and the final roadblock that you're going to face, is that when picking something like your campaign or how you're going to market it out, you don't know what you don't know. And if you don't know what you don't know, you have to go get some help. Sometimes you can't rely on your upline, because your upline may have just joined a day before you. They may have joined a month before you and not had time to put the studying in. I don't down all uplines, but let's face it, unless you put the time in, you will not have the knowledge that you need to grow yourself first. Because in all reality, don't be too hard on yourself. You're willing to go to college and go to college for 4 years with no pay, always paying and trying to work at the same time. But when you get into this business, you're not willing to do it like this is something easy. The kind of money that you can make in this business is not set up to have a ceiling on it. And that's the one thing I loved about this business that attracted me to this business, is that I got into this for complete freedom. I wanted financial freedom, and I wanted work freedom, freedom of expression, to express myself in ways that they can't tell me that there's a salary cap. So, and by freedom of expression, I mean that I can choose to earn $200 a month, or I can choose to earn $2,000 a month, $20,000 a month, and I can let my determination and my value show and shine through that way. And that's one of the most exciting things about this business. But in order to get to those heights, in order to get to those levels, there's the one thing that every entrepreneur always doesn't do in the beginning, and then eventually does. And I'm telling you right now, if you do it now sooner than later, you'll benefit from it. And that one thing is they get a mentor or a coach. A true mentor or a coach who has been through the courses and been through the paces and had some of the successes that you want to have. You can either model them online, or you can find someone that specializes in coaching and coaching people through their campaigns and their projects. Because the more you waste time doing something that is unproductive, that is not income producing, the more it's going to hurt your business. If you don't treat it like a business, it's not going to perform like a business. It's just going to be a hobby. And I've watched that happen all the time, that people, they start off, they're headed in the right direction, then they hit a roadblock, then they don't know what to do, so then they ease back into a comfort zone of doing something that feels like they're doing, being productive, when really the only measure of how you're doing is really your income, because that's what you got this business for. You got it for an income. You didn't get it to just play a game and to say, actually it's quite embarrassing to say, well, I haven't made any money in 2 years. I've heard somebody say that, and you could hear it on their voice that they were a little bit embarrassed and shocked at their progress, that they thought they were going to have something moving in a different direction. But after 2 years looking back, they did the one thing, and they started to seek out counsel and find out the necessary things that were missing from what they were trying to produce. And, you know, for a lot of people, that's a really humbling experience, to have to go to somebody and ask somebody for help. And it's just a natural feeling. But I know that when I actually went to my mentor and asked for help, and I started getting led in the right direction, everything started to come together. All the pieces of the puzzle didn't seem so out of reach anymore. The limits that I placed on myself as far as what I wanted to have for my goals was erased. It was completely shattered, and I learned to set my goals even bigger, to be able to open up the doors that I needed to have opened up, to even make some of the smallest, simplest things work. So you have to remember that this is a people business, and it's basically everything in life you do is about people. It's really, the objects and the things are not, you know, they're not made to last, but the one thing that does last in this business is the relationship that you build with your prospects, the relationship that you build with your customers, your coaches, and most importantly, your partners. Your partners, you need partners to help you to get along. So I want to just reiterate that one of the best things that you can do is to get a mentor or a coach and decide, you know, you have to make a decision that I want to be in this business, and that no matter what it costs, that I have to have my path made straight, instead of wandering around for years and not knowing what to do and still having the passion. Sometimes you can't help the passion that you have inside of you to be independent marketer or independent business owner. You can't help that passion, that drive, but you just got to get it lined up. You got to get it aimed in the right direction so that you can affect as many other people's lives as possible. And getting a mentor is how you do that. So I want to thank you, and I hope this helped you to get over it a little bit, to understand some of the roadblocks that are going to come. Because It always comes. You may have a little success in the beginning, and then something happens, and there we go again with the roadblock. But they can be overcome. They can be, eased, and you can recognize them before they show up. There's warning signs along the way, along the road, all the way, in anything that you do, and you just have to be prepared for it. So I hope this prepares you a little bit better for some of the roadblocks that you have, and it gets you a speedy startup and much success to you. This is Randy Levels, and I'm out.